Kristen Hampton,
Lisa Pauley,
and Nancy Carroll. Welcome to WGLH.
Do you know that Saturday is the first day of spring?
Well, you know what Henry Van Dyke said. He said the first day of spring is one thing, but the first spring day is another, normally separated by a month.
That's true, but not all the days in spring can be spring-like. But we do know that with spring comes change, a change of season, time, and new beginnings. And here we are with an extra special change, 3 women anchors.
Well, Lisa, it looks like we have a lot of work to do, and I'd like to start with a definite change. Adults, going back to school?
That's right. I've been following the back-to-school program since winter, and today we have the last follow-up story. Let's take a look.
This is Lisa Pauley doing another follow-up on the back-to-school program that was here at Gahanna Jefferson City Schools. Pictured here is Ann McCowan, who was here at the high school. She is seen here teaching one of Mrs. Field's chemistry classes. I had a chance to ask her how she was benefited by being in this program.
I work at Merrill Publishing Company, and I edit science books, high school and grade school books. And it's interesting to me to come in and find out what it is that you're learning in your classes and what kinds of things you need to see in textbooks.
I also had a chance to talk to another back-to-school member, Ms. Linda Dolman.
Hi, this is Linda Dolman. She's one of the community members who have come back to school. Hi, Linda. Welcome to WGLH.
Hi.
Why were you wanting to get involved in this back-to-school program?
Well, I was interested in seeing what the daily routine of a teacher is on a high school level because I have tentative plans of coming back into teaching on a high school level myself.
How do you think this program benefits the district or yourself?
What it benefits me is just giving me some insights into how the daily routine runs for a teacher. I think for some of my friends who are involved on an elementary level, they're seeing what their children are doing at school and how the teachers are with their children, the techniques that they use, and maybe perhaps can use some of those at home.
And how did you get involved in this program? How did you hear about it?
Through a friend who's on the PTA.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Many of you may recognize this young man. Yes, this is Mayor McGregor. He too participated in the back-to-school program. Here he is teaching one of Mrs. Geiser's 3 basic speech classes. He also helped Geiser teach her debate and television classes. All in all, the back-to-school program went very well. Over 15 members of the community were involved this year. We here at WGLH would like to thank each member that participated this year and would like to encourage their participation for next year. This has been Lisa Pauley for WGLH. Now,
We really enjoyed having the mayor in our class, didn't we, Lisa?
We sure did. All the visitors lead busy lives, but they really found time to come and visit and see what's really going on.
Another person who leads a busy life, Mr. Greg Malone. This is his first year at Gahanna, and already he has been invited to speak before the National Council of English Teachers in Louisville. Here's Rich to tell you more.
This is Richkowski with Greg Malone, an English teacher at Gahanna, who at the end of March will be presenting a paper along with junior high teachers from Bexley and Reynoldsburg in Louisville, Kentucky at the spring convention of the National Council of Teachers of English, or the NCTE, of which he is a member. Mr. Malone, how did you get chosen to present this paper?
Well, Rich, the 2 other teachers that I'm presenting the paper with, the 3 of us worked at Ohio State in our master's programs with one of the professors who is one of the organizers of the conference, and as a result of our work, she asked us to present the paper, which is more or less a summary of most of our master's work.
Okay, could you describe what the summary is?
What we'll be presenting is a paper that deals with the response theory of literature, and basically what that boils down to is it's a method of teaching literature that involves the students a lot more and their responses initially. So rather than having the student answer a set of discussion questions for homework, they would be assigned to read the story and respond to that, and then class discussions are an outgrowth of those responses.
Is this a newer theory or practice?
In some senses, yes. In some senses, no. I think the formal theory and a lot of the writing that's been done on that has just come about in the past 10 or 15 years. But in practice, I think teachers have been doing response-type activities probably for as long as they've been teaching.
So you feel that it's much better to, have the students respond verbally rather than writing out responses?
Yes, there's a lot of writing that's involved in a response-centered curriculum, but I think that by placing a greater emphasis on student response, it tends to get them involved in the works more often. And so typically, a class discussion would be much more student-dominated than teacher-dominated.
Okay, so do you feel that this is, the type of teaching that should be done at Gahanna, or is being done at Gahanna?
Oh, I think it's being done at Gahanna. I think it's being done all over the country. I think what we're trying to do is create an awareness on the part of teachers of what they're doing, and then provide them with other activities, other techniques that they could use in doing that. I know from my observations in some of the other classes that those teachers are very response-oriented, although I know some of them aren't aware of that.
Do you feel there are any school systems or types of students that this would not work?
Really, I don't, because I think any student, after reading a work, has some type of response to it, whether it's, I liked it, I didn't like it, I didn't understand it, I thought it was great. And so I think that it's something that all students are capable of. I think sometimes it may take a little more work to train students to do that, particularly if they've been raised in classrooms where the teachers tended to dominate the discussion. But I think anyone's capable of that.
Okay, thank you very much. This has been Richkowski for WGLH TV.
Spring also finds busy people getting ready for the fall. A group of professional people at Jefferson Elementary are getting ready a tape for the kindergarten roundup. Here's the story.
You know, in the year 2000, the children who start kindergarten in the 87-88 school year will graduate from high school. In the year 2000, I'll be 31 years old. I don't know about you, but that's almost over the hill now. Anyways, back to the kindergartners. The kindergarten roundup is starting again this season. The kindergarten roundup is a program where information is gathered by a group of roundup teachers and is used by kindergarten teachers in the fall to plan learning experiences based on developmental needs of the children. A second area where the kindergarten roundup helps is detects further needs of development or special attention for the children. During roundup, the following areas are evaluated: visual auditory memory, in where a group of children are asked to look, say, and remember names of 3 pictures, and then to repeat them. Fine motor, in which children involve matching, cutting, and the use of pencil and crayon skills for different tests. Hearing, in which they check for any hearing problems. Speech and vision, for any speech and vision problems too. Perception is where the children are brought in front of a school psychologist and asked questions such as, when is your birthday, what is your favorite story, etc. The child will also be asked to draw a person and copy simple shapes to test how the child perceives his surrounding world. I personally hope that these children will appreciate kindergarten as I did when I was in kindergarten. Now that I'm in 12th grade, I kind of wish I was back there, so I hope you people enjoy it. This is David Fox for WGLH TV. Now back to the studio.
I did not realize that all those little fellows had to go through tests.
I know, Kristen, but they aren't getting graded.
Well, some people have a real fetish for grades.
Well, you do try to get the best grades you can, don't you, Kristen?
Well, I've tried really hard, but I haven't been Student of the Month for broadcasting like you, Lisa.
Yes, I have. It's really a special honor to be chosen. We had a cameraman at the last Student of the Month breakfast. Let's watch.
Every month, students are chosen who stand out from their classmates because either they have achieved an outstanding grade or shown a great deal of effort in a subject. Awards are given out in separate areas of study, for example, math or science. These awards are given at McDonald's, where the students receive a free complimentary breakfast. Mr. Ford, Mr. Montgomery, and Mrs. Weller were also in attendance for the excitement. Here we see Mr. Veers talking to the students this Tuesday in March. Mr. Veers is usually in attendance to congratulate the recipients for their performance. Participation isn't mandatory, but some special teachers wouldn't dare think of not attending. Overall, the morning agenda includes first the breakfast and then the certificates of merit, which are passed out by the teachers from certain departments.
That is a special reward for people who work for it. Here's another group of people who work hard. Regional competition for 140 Franklin County Olympics of the Mind teams was held at Weston High School on Saturday, March 7th. 4 teams from our school district participated. 9 medals were given for high creativity. 2 of them were awarded to Ben Lageman, Lincoln Elementary, Omer to the Rescue, and Jefferson Elementary team, Grade 1, Crow Mignon. Boyd Fackler, Stephen Hanna, Amy Schick, Mark Sleeper, Kim Miller, and Michelle Wolf. Competition was tough, so a special congratulations, and thanks to the teams and their coaches.
Another special reward for people who work for it is the annual Varsity Varieties show. Here's Todd.
Hi, this is Todd Spencer for WGLH TV. This year, as in years past, a long-standing tradition has been kept alive at Gahanna Lincoln High School when the company Varsity Varieties 1987 performed on March 13th and 14th for packed audiences. Varsity Varieties, the school's talent show, has been around for 7 years and has drawn sellout crowds since its inception. This year's directors, Mrs. Dodrill, Mrs. Geiser, and Mr. Miller, started the process of auditioning on Tuesday, February 3rd, to determine who would be considered for the talent of this year's show. There were numerous callbacks to pick who would be in the final 22 acts. After all the acts were picked, the rehearsal started on Monday, March 2nd. Final dress rehearsal rolled around on Thursday, March 12th, and the show premiered at 8 p.m. on March 13th. This year's MCs, Russ Kress, Pat County, Kathy Callis, and Megan Odell, did a superb job not only introducing acts, but also doing some of the acting themselves, performing such acts as belly bumping and a takeoff of the Bartles and James commercials.
Number 1, you need a redneck hat to keep the sun out of your eyes and the mud out of your hair. Number 2, you need a redneck t-shirt, Kmart Duraflex like this one here to show off the muscles to the women folk. As you can see, Floyd and I spent a lot of time in the gym. The BBA requires that you wear a pair of these confounded bloomers, even though they do look like real dark. And finally, you must all wear a pair of combat boots. They are self-explanatory, as Floyd here can certainly tell you, right, Floyd? I Betty Joe Bob, but enough of this talk about Betty Bumpin'. Let's get down to some real bumping. You want to bump me, chicken? Or you want chicken, Betty Joe Bob? I'm telling you, chicken. Get our skirt, club. Come on, just get over there and assume the position, Betty Joe Bob. You do, Floyd. I need to lose weight, Betty Joe Bob. But I'm coming at you. 1, 2. We'd like you high schoolers to take a try at our new drink, which we positively think is simply the best.
This has been Todd Spencer reporting for WGLH TV. Now back to our anchors.
I know that this is a real production. I was a runner for the show, and I ran my legs off.
I ushered Friday evening, and it was very sad to have to turn people away because we were all sold out. The ticket booth never even opened.
Well, I hope the fans of the high school productions remember this, and they get their tickets early for the spring musical.
That's right. That's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yep.
I was thinking about trying out, but you know how the guys always crack about my singing.
Well, Lisa, no one's perfect. I think I'd be content with Student of the Month.
Well, thanks for the boost there, Kristen. Let's watch the musical auditions.
This is David Fox for WGLH TV, and music is in the air. Yes, it's time once again for the traditional spring musical. This year they're doing 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. Students from all over Gahanna Lincoln High School tried out for the part. Here you see Stephanie Griffin, Michelle Cummings, Kanie Miller, Jill Hussey, etc. trying out for lead and many other parts. Mr. Stewart, who is musical director this year, is directing the students and is the head person in the auditions. We will tell you next week who got what, as in the terms of leads and other parts. So stay tuned for next week. This has been David Fox for WGLH TV. Now back to the studio.
One of the things that contribute to the musical is the orchestra.
And I understand that we have a very talented one. Some of our orchestra students are involved in the Columbus Youth Symphony.
Well, Sue had a look, and here she is with her story.
Hello, this is Sue Patton for the WGLH TV in the Gahanna Lincoln High School Auditorium, where the Columbus Symphony Youth Orchestra and the Columbus Symphony Cadet Orchestra are performing. The youth orchestra consists of high school instrumentalists who have been chosen from 35 different Central Ohio high schools and is conducted by Mr. Albert George Schram, assistant conductor of the Columbus Symphony Orchestra. The Cadet Orchestra is made up of 7th, 8th, and 9th grade students from Central Ohio schools and is being conducted by Mr. Ted Pollock, director of the Northland High School Band. The orchestras are financially supported by the Columbus Symphony Orchestra and by a parents group called Youth Orchestra Organization. This program began in 1955 by Claude Montu, who was the music director and was on the board of trustees for the Columbus Symphony Youth Orchestra. This group of the young people will be performing in Michigan and Canada when they begin a 4-day tour in May. Good luck on your tour, and now let's listen to some music.
Aren't they marvelous? I love music, even though I can't sing.
I do too, and I really love to hear this next musical group. Here's Dan with our very own AKD.
There have been a lot of groups at our school, and a lot of them have achieved some popularity, but none have achieved the popularity of a group of drummers in the band called AKD. AKD started to get its popular status last year when they played at Varsity Varieties. This year they were asked to return again and were the feature act. Also, their publicity was increased when they were the halftime show at the IBA championship game. The highlight of AKD's career was being asked to play at Cooper Stadium as a pregame show, and this year they were asked to perform again. I asked senior member Craig Orr how AKD got started.
By the two senior members, Todd Clay and Johnson Dusky and Dave Hedrick, and finally then Dennis Razor.
Along with Mike, who is a senior, I asked him who else are the members this year in AKD. He said there's also Craig Orr, who is a senior, Dusty Beach, a junior, Joey Shade, a junior, and Jack Johnson, who is also a junior. Those are the 5 members this year, and with the 3 juniors, they'll have 3 more next year. I also asked Mike about the publicity of the group this year.
Okay, our manager, who is Mrs. Carmen Biggis, who is a teacher here of accounting at Gahanna Lincoln, she helps with a lot of publicity we do. We, of course, it was started for Varsity Varieties, the talent show here at Gahanna. We do that every year, and last year she got us a job. We played the Columbus Clippers game, and that night they requested that we had come back the next year. Miss Biggis set it up for us. We were asked to play at publicity thing for Pizza Hut this year. We weren't able to attend that, but we've been asked to play at a couple birthday parties, and we try to play as much as we can. We have a good time. We play at the annual teacher all-star basketball game, the faculty against the IBA All-Stars.
So it looks like with the publicity that AKD has gained, it'll be popular for a long time. This has been Dan Sherman reporting for WGLH.
Wow, they really have a special technique, don't they, Kristen?
Technique must be a talent that all Gahanna Lincoln students have.
Yes, even the industrial arts students at Middle School West are talented in this area. Under the direction of Dean Bandy, these students have been learning mass production techniques by building and selling lawn storage sheds. The walls and roof, which are painted and shingled of this 8 feet by 12 feet shed, are prefabricated in the shop on forms using mass production techniques learned in previous units where the students mass produce wall shelves. When all the inside work is done, They take the sheds outside and assemble and trim them. Total production time ranges between 15 and 20 hours, with 4 sheds being produced in the school year. Each semester, these students take a field trip to Cardinal Industries, where they observe mass production techniques used to build housing units. The storage sheds cost approximately $450 to purchase. Jess Howard Electrical Contractors delivers these sheds to owners upon completion. The first 3 sheds have already been sold.
Maybe someday we'll need a shed, Lisa.
I need one right now to take care of all of my junk. How about you, Nancy? Could you use a big shed?
I don't think so, Lisa, but a big head sure would come in handy for covering all this week's sports. Now that spring is upon us, as Kristen and Lisa mentioned earlier in the show, it's time to wrap up this year's winter sports and take a look at what spring holds in store. Let's start off by recapping this year's Intramural Basketball Association season. In final league play, the 87 champs defeated the Fat Boys 39-35. Senior Fred Cunningham scored a game-high 18 points for the champs. The champs then advanced to play the Gahanna-Lincoln faculty in a game in front of the student body on March 6th. The faculty edged out the champs 29-28 despite a last-ditch effort by Pat County of the champs. In wrestling, March 12th through the 14th, juniors Tracy Doss and Scott Frazier and seniors Matt Everett and Mark Hardy competed in the state wrestling competition at Ohio State University. Everett took second place in the state in his 175-pound weight class, and Doss placed 5th in the 155-pound weight class. Overall, Gahanna captured 12th in the Class AAA event. Another sport, swimming, also did well in district and state competitions. Doug Sigler, Mike Apple, Brad Lister, Eric Bernsdorf, Tony Donato, and Mark Trawertha qualified for district competition March 27th and 28th. Qualifying for the girls were Jamie Evans, Lori Walker, Nikki McDermott, Tracy McKee, Kristen Ankney, and Gretchen Zelke. Only Zelke advanced to state competition March 6th and 7th, where she placed 20th in the 100-yard fly and 18th in the 50-yard free. In track, the Lady Lions team competed in its last meet March 14th in an Audubon Invitational. Kim Wilhite placed first in the 880-yard run. Jackie Nieloff came in first in the 440-yard dash. In the mile relay, Wilhite, Vanessa Heine, and Macca Bailey and Tracy Oxley placed first. The girls' team placed second overall out of 8 teams. The boys' team competes in its last meet March 23rd at OSU in the Central District Indoors. Now, although the indoor track season hasn't even officially ended yet, the outdoor teams are already preparing for their seasons. The outdoor track season officially started on March 3rd. Roughly 60 students are involved in the outdoor track team, competing in sprints and distance running, pole vault, long jump, high jump, shot put, discus, and hurdle events. Gahanna teachers Ed Rary, Don Weatherby, Roger Whitaker, Bob Kramer, Rod Stoltz, Chuck Bossy, Ted Besora, and Sylvia Smythe helped with the coaching of the team. The team had its first meet March 31st, with the boys competing at home against St. Charles at 3:30. The track team season will continue to the end of May. Practicing outdoors with the track teams are the baseball and softball teams. Robin White had an opportunity to get a preview of both preparation for their up-and-coming season. Let's take a look at the 1987 baseball tryouts.
Besides the fact it was very cold out and they were bundled in sweatsuits, the baseball team was holding tryouts this week for their spring season. Coach Hanners is working on his varsity team by doing fielding drills, pitching, and hitting this week. At the end of the week, he and his coaching staff will decide on the final team. The coaching staff consists of head coach Mr. Hanners, Mr. Steve Morrison, and Mr. John Dean. Returning lettermen from the varsity team are pitchers senior Craig Parsons, Mike Geese, Eric Bruno, Mike Carey. The infielders and outfielders will be Mickey Shemp, Bill Kakis, Brad Swetland, and Brad Webb. The reserve team was also holding tryouts this past week. Good luck to the players who tried out, and we wish you well for your upcoming season.
While the baseball coaches work hard to decide who to cut and who to keep, the softball coaches are also deciding on their final teams.
This is Robin White for WGLH TV Sports Preview for spring. This year, the softball team had a big turnout for tryouts. Mr. Hughes will be coaching varsity, and Mr. Simonelli will be coaching reserve. Although the varsity record was not the best last year, their dedication and determination will help their season this year for more victories. The final team will be decided on Friday. Look for the softball in some of our future sports reviews.
Also under the gun to perform well are those boys trying out for the tennis team. Let's find out more about this year's tryouts. Tryouts for this year's boys tennis team began Monday, March 9th. The varsity team is coached by Lincoln teacher Jerry Mackey, and Jerry Englehart heads the reserve team. Roughly 34 boys are trying out for this year's team, and according to Mackey, about 20 will probably be kept. The tryouts consist of running and stretching to prepare the boys for the season overall. The boys practice fine-tuning their strokes and strategy, then put them to use in real play. This year's season begins March 2nd at home against Hilliard and will run through the third week in May. This has been Nancy Carroll with a spring preview of tennis. Hopefully we'll have a great deal of good news to report about our spring teams on our next show. Lisa, Kristen?
I guess spring has everybody busy.
You know what Dickinson said, a little madness in spring is wholesome even for a king. So everyone, enjoy some wholesome madness as we at WGLH help you to usher in the spring season. This is Lisa Pauley, Kristen Hampton, and Nancy Carroll saying, Think spring.